Allow me to introduce by Lon Milo DuQuette, foreword by Brandy Williams. When Lon asked me to record myself reading the foreword to this book, I was honored. And I was also honored when he asked me to write the foreword. So I'm going to tell you a little story about that because I said that's a wonderful opportunity. I'm so grateful to you for that. And then I read the book and I said, I'm in trouble. It's a trap. He writes the best introductions in the business. He does a beautiful job of introducing the person, introducing their work. He's funny, he's eloquent. How am I going to follow that? Because people are going to read the foreword and then they're going to read the book. And so I spent a couple of days walking around the house muttering to myself, making false start after false start, being all stilted and formal. And I finally just sat down and wrote the thing in one sitting. And I said what I felt. I said what was in my heart. And I just took it and sent it off to him. Apparently he liked it because it's in the book. Here you go. I am a woman, a priestess, and a magician. Being a priestess clearly means I am a woman priest. Being a magician and also a woman is less obvious. It's hard to find a teacher who can talk to a woman magician. I often feel treated as if I am other, outside, struggling to read myself into the role. Lon Milo DuQuette never makes me feel like that. I've always had the sense he's talking directly to me, inviting me into the fascinating world of magic. His primary purpose as a teacher and writer is not to display his knowledge, which is broad and deep, or his magical accomplishments, which are magnificent, but to open the door so we can share that knowledge and have those experiences. He centers not on his own needs as teacher, but on the needs of the student. He shares his knowledge without fuss, laying out study plans that don't skip steps or hold back secrets, but instead make practices possible. His magic is not for himself only. He practices in order to share. As a writer, a teacher, and a magician, he is generous. His great genius is to make magic accessible. The esoteric arts have built up over the centuries into bewildering layers of ideas and systems. The texts, when they are in English at all, are often written in an older form of the language. Just translating antique ideas into contemporary English is a service in itself. For example, with all deference to the prophet Aleister Crowley, his prose is as dense as Shakespeare. It needs an introduction, an explanation of the obscure phrases, a translator. Lon Milo DuQuette provides that translation. This book is a collection of introductions and prefaces to books. In these pages, Enochian language, Tarot, Kabbalah, geomancy, all seem like keys to understanding the universe and ourselves. It's clear these studies and practices have changed Lon's life, and his delight shines on every page. Reading the books in this list would constitute a mighty magical education. Lon excels at introducing other magicians. He is equally at home with long-dead masters of antiquity and the newest generation of innovators. He has known the most influential magicians of his lifetime, and he tells us he is profoundly grateful to the people who taught him. His mentors, Grady McMurtry and Phyllis Seckler and Israel Regardie, are among the people who trained directly with Aleister Crowley. They died in his lifetime. Lon is our bridge to that generation of Thelemites. In these pages, he tells the story of his initiation into Ordo Templi Orientis. As I have come to know Lon directly through my own membership in the order, I have come to deeply appreciate his lifetime of service. His tireless work has helped to build and shape OTO into the worldwide magical order it is today. When Grady and Phyllis picked him to be their initiate, they chose wisely, and we are their beneficiaries. If you have a chance to attend one of his lectures or classes, jump at it. If you find that you were scheduled against one of his presentations, you might find your audience sparse indeed. I did. I was scheduled against him at PantheaCon 2020, much to my dismay. I was really pleased that I drew a few people who were interested in my work. And really, if you get a chance to see Lon in person, go see Lon in person. Skip me. He's a hard act to follow, too. I was once offered a chance to present at a conference in his stead when he had to withdraw because of the conflict. I said, I'm honored you thought of me, and I'd love to do it. But you know I'm not funny, right? Lon is one of those genuinely wise people who also have the gift of humor. Being able to laugh is one of the keys of success, he says, especially if you can laugh at yourself. These days, Lon is as likely to give a concert as a lecture. From the fiery anthem, Class Warfare, to the searing indictment, If We Believed, to the crooning lullaby, Sweet Babylon, the audience sings along. He gives voice to the pains and fears and joys of a magical life. Music threads through this book, in liner notes for a musical presentation of the Tarot, in an address to an audience about to hear Mozart's The Magic Flute, in the musicality of the prose. In these introductions to other people's work, we get to know Lon through the books and people he loves. He is exactly the right kind of guru, funny, kind, accessible, stern when severity is called for, and demanding that the students take responsibility for the learning. Hilarious anecdotes segue into breathtaking vistas of insight. He is speaking a lived revelation, singing the truth of the soul. The earth is sunlight incarnate. We are the earth's children. Our embodiment is the call to spiritual awareness that we are all eternal. The best description of Lon Milo DuQuette is his own description of Donald Michael Craig. In the final analysis, the only meaningful credential a magician can present to the world is the magician. Has he or she evolved through the agency of magic? Is he or she a wiser, more balanced, more disciplined, more enlightened, more engaged, more self-aware individual? Is the individual a better friend, a better teacher, a better citizen, a better human being, because of his or her involvement in this most personal of spiritual art forms? Most importantly, does the magician have the ability to laugh at magician? Lon Milo DuQuette is one of the greatest teachers of our time. In these introductions, he shows us the magician that he is, demonstrating how to embody a magical life. He tells us that he writes the books he wanted to read. As a woman magician, I too am writing the books I needed when I was starting out. I look to Lon as the exemplar of the writer as teacher. I could not have a better one. Allow me to introduce Lon Milo DuQuette.